Day 36. You are an overcomer. Pressing on every day, reading your chapter, growing in your revelation of the word, your love for the word, most importantly, growing in your relationship with Jesus. Mark chapter 8 starts with Jesus feeding 4,000 Gentiles. He's already fed 5,000 Jews, and now it's the Gentiles' turn. Whatever Jesus does for the Jews, he wants to do for the Gentiles. The Pharisees are caught off guard. It wasn't the norm for Jesus to feed the crowds as they came to him, but here he's highlighting that he is the bread of life for both Jew and for Gentile. The Pharisees come seeking a sign, and I can imagine Jesus like, what more do you want? All of these miracles I've done, my disciples have been doing, but their hearts were hardened. And whenever sign was done, the goalposts would just continue to shift. And then Jesus warns his disciples against this leaven, this hardened heart. They think he's talking about bread, but he's talking about the state of the heart that quenches faith. Jesus goes and he heals a man, and he prays for him a couple of times. Jesus healed many, many people, but only a few of them are mentioned in the scriptures, the story that's told for us. And every one of those, they're there because there is a story that the gospel writers want to bring to us through that healing and through that account. I believe the story here is just like this man. His sight increased incrementally. In the same way, there is progressive revelation as we walk with Jesus. We don't see clearly from the start. We grow in revelation. We grow in sight. We grow in understanding. The whole book of Mark has been a growing in understanding of who Jesus is up to this point. Jesus takes the disciples to Caesarea Philippi, 40 kilometers north of Galilee. It's a long walk. On the way there, he says, who do others say I am? And then, who do you say I am? Probably the most important question that you and I will wrestle with in our life. Peter responds correctly, you are the Messiah. And the whole book of Mark up to this point climaxes right here. You are the Christ. From here, Jesus pivots, his message begins to change, and he begins to show us what it means to be the Messiah. We know he is the Messiah. What does it look like to be the Messiah? And he begins to speak to the disciples about the suffering servant who will be crucified. Peter freaks out. This does not fit into his box for the Messiah. Jesus rebukes him. It is so important that we do not try and squish Jesus into our box of who God should be, but allow him to break all of our boxes as he shows us who he is. And then Jesus shows the disciples there is a cost to following him. There is a cost of discipleship. We need to lay down our life. If we keep our lives all about me and selfish, we will lose it. But if we are willing to lay down our life for the gospel, we will say it.